That does not make sense. How? I don't think anybody has ever found this out before about any pedal ever.
Flashback.
Flax here. I play things with strings, I hit stuff, and I sing. And it's time for a caffeinated episode of Fuzz Fiddle with Flax. What's percolating? Well, I'll tell you what's percolating. It's the thing that's in this package right here. It's a package from Land Devices. You may recall from a previous Fuzz Fiddle episode, I featured their Domino Clean Octave Blend. So you might know what's in this box if you've been following along. I'm very excited. It's the HP-2. And I got one in blue. It's a fuzz, and this is Land Devices' take on the famous Harmonic Percolator. Some history. Interfax was a company based out of Milwaukee in the 70s, and they made a pedal called the Harmonic Percolator, the HP-1. This has got kind of a cult following these days because of Steve Albini. Steve Albini was the engineer for a lot of very famous recording sessions. He's also a guitarist and has played on a bunch of stuff. The Harmonic Percolator circuit is hard to find, so this is a nice take on it. This is not the standard paint job, by the way. The standard paint job is like an army camo green. Of course, the original unit is sort of a cream color. Let's see what it sounds like on violin, shall we? My signal chain, violin, going into the Schertler Stat V pickup. That's going directly into the HP-2. That's going into my board through the Matrice mixer and then back down into the ES8. Loop 1 contains my Chase Bliss Benson preamp for some always-on shaping and tone. Loop 5 has my Crazy Tube Circuits compressor, golden ratio. They just released version 2, by the way. Check that out if you haven't already. Into loop 7, it's going through the Yamaha Ensemble mixer. Check out the video of my studio tour to see how that's working. It comes back into the board, getting a little bit of room reverb from the CXM 1978 into the Cab Zeus, into my interface. I'm sort of nonplussed. It's pleasant. It's got fizz and snarl and bite, but it's not like gross. There's so many fuzzes I've featured that are really biting and cutting and nasty. You'll really hear them in their great lead tones. This feels like it's just kind of round and smooth in a way that I almost don't know what to do with. The two knobs there, H and B. H is harmonics and B is balance. So volume and sort of how much fizz. I'll just sweep those some more so you can see exactly what's going on. Interestingly, if I turn the harmonics all the way down, it also shuts off the sound. I guess that's just kind of the way that's designed. Maybe that's how the original Interfax harmonic percolator worked. I don't know. I just think that's kind of cool. Let's try flipping the toggle switch. There's that red switch, and that changes, I think it adds a clipping section. Rocker switches in and out the clipping section. Switch left for 1970s, switch right for absolute destruction. I think we gotta switch to the absolute destruction mode and see what happens. So even before I bring the harmonics up, that's really nice. We get a boost. I think it introduces a clipping stage, so we got a little bit more level. It feels like the low end, it's a violin, but you know what I mean, the relatively low end, which is the mids, kind of got a little pump. That's interesting. I'm curious to see what it would do with a lower range instrument. We'll get there. With the bow, it's all kinds of weird. It's like squishing sometimes, and listen some more. I'm still getting my head wrapped around this. So like the bow change was very different from the start of the note. It's just weird. It behaves weird. That's not bad. It might mean I have to change my playing style to use this pedal, but it's weird. Filthy. With the harmonics maxed out, it's very, very sort of almost the scratchy, too much of the high end, like that piezo players usually, if you have a piezo pickup on your violin, maybe you roll it back a little bit to remove some of that. This reintroduces that, and it's that feeling of like, oh, I can really hear my finger scraping against the string in a way that's usually uncomfortable, but it is relatively pleasant compared to the usual sort of ice-picky sort of nails on a chalkboard thing. It's somehow got all that high end, but it's not terrible. It's just unexpected. Okay, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard with any pedal. You can tell if I'm doing a down bow or an up bow. What? Down bows and up bows sound different? That does not make sense. How? Listen. What? How? Okay. I was not expecting that. This is the weirdest, simplest pedal. It has two knobs and a switch and is made of wizard witchcraft magic dust. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't think anybody has ever found this out before about any pedal ever. I'm pretty sure I'm the first person in the world to ever encounter this specific issue with a bow and a harmonic percolator circuit. Weird. I am curious to try what happens if we plug a different instrument into it. Let's hear it with lower strings. Switch over, let's use the chincello. Yeah, absolute destruction is pretty on the nose. I'm going to try the volume cleanup trick. Let's put the knobs back a little bit and just dial back the volume setting on here and see what happens. Ooh, that's really nice. I have rolled the volume down on this, and all of a sudden the harmonic percolator is adding nice harmonics and sparkle, but not the fuzz because the volume's low. This is very promising. I think I'm gonna get some cool dynamics. I really like the way the dynamics play. It's very dynamic. It's somehow a polite, well-behaved, interesting, harmonically rich fuzz. It just adds a little excitement to everything without being too much until you go a little too far and then it's a little too far. You know, in that sense, this pedal is the most like coffee. It adds a little stimulation. I like to have a little bit. I actually like to have more than most people. There is a point at which it goes too far and is jittery. The metaphor totally holds up. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much. I've nearly made it to 1,000 subscribers, at which point I will be doing a giveaway. More on that coming soon. If you want to support my work, please check out patreon.com/RobFlax, where you can find the music for this episode, as well as lots of other stuff, unreleased music, and much, much more. Okay, that's it for this episode. See you in the next one. Bye.